It wasn't a point. Like I wanted this when I found out my father wasn't my real father. There are two things. Like
wait. I don't know this part of the story.
I found out my father wasn't my real father. Right.
So your father was actually your stepdad?
Hughley's my stepdad. Right.
Okay.
And I.
So your last name is actually
would be Ballard.
Okay.
But I never knew that. So, like I was with my father from the time I was born. I was born to my father, but he wasn't my father, right? So.
Okay. So your mom started dating your stepdad while she was pregnant?
My mom, yeah. My mother left my father.
While she was pregnant?
While she was pregnant with me, yes. And
it takes a strong man to take on a woman pregnant with another man's child. So shout out to your father. And he was with your mother, like, you know.
Let me tell you.
Bravo.
When I found out about it, because everybody thinks that you should know shit.
No.
And I was like, I could have not known this.
He was a black guy, right?
Yeah, it's a black guy. I mean, if it was a white guy, I'd have wanted to know.
It was an Asian guy. I'd be like, wait a minute.
Come get me now. But I was angry because people, and the two things when it comes to my father, that people listened and gave me information that I wasn't, that I was like, that I could have went my whole life without knowing. We could have just been lying to each other. I'd have been cool. I didn't need that information. I remember when my father was dying. I don't know if I talked to you.
Your real father or
my Hughley was dying.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we were talking during that.
I was so mad at my wife and my daughters because they were like, he would want you to be there, and when I saw my father, he didn't want me to be there. He didn't. He was like, because you have an idea of your father that you never. An idea of your father will sustain you. The idea of your father will sustain you through your life. Because you see this figure. It's almost mythic. But then you see your father weak and sick and hurt and struggling to breathe. I was so mad because when I saw him, he saw me and it was like, I don't want you here and you don't want to be here. And I was ashamed and I listened to them. And it's one of the reasons that you got to form your own mind because the images that women have, he knew I was there to comfort. I don't have that anymore. Now all I have is the image that you told me will comfort me and it doesn't.
So did you meet your real father?
Yeah. I met my real father right before I did and I met my real father because my wife insisted that, because I was, so she's like, I got to find out where this shit comes from. So she meets my real father.
Okay.
Right 10 days before I did my third or fourth HBO special.
Okay.
And he comes, then we go to the airport to pick him up. And he comes out and he looks just like me.
Really?
And he was, and my kids, fucking sellouts, was jumping all over him. Fucking happy and shit.
Fucking sellouts.
these fucking sellouts. So then we go home, and I was on the Hughleys then. Mm-hmm. So imagine me and your father when you're doing a show with your other father's name. So I came home from work, and they were all in the pool, and he was cooking, and they were like they fucking, because to them they saw a dude that looked like me. So it was the best shit in the world to them. And I came home and I said, you have to go. And I said, get your stuff, you leave.
You kicked him out?
Yes. And I took him, I said, I never want to see you again.
Oh.
Because if I do, then I'm going to assume you're a man and I'm going to treat you like you trying to hurt me. Like they're like, I've given you the route. So he leaves. Come to find out my wife has kept in contact with him the whole time. When he dies, my mother calls me and said, your father died. And I go, oh my God. But it was Jerry Ballard, it wasn't Charles Hughley. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why are you all upset? Time to find out she had a different relationship than she told me she did. So she had kept in contact with him all the time. So my whole basis was I thought he had done something crazy with my mother, but she had a relationship that I didn't. And I learned to just listen to my first mind because I felt like I was in the front to Charles Hughley. And it would you have the heart has capacity for love and understanding. And now I'm a man who's been in that situation where I've had, and if I had gotten a chance to meet my son, I'd have loved him. And when you're older, you'll get a chance to say, hey man, this is what it was. And you hope that his experiences has given you enough latitude to be able to have that conversation. But I think listening to other people in these like really interesting places in my life has robbed me of the chance to have an organic experience that I would have been able to navigate better had I just listened to me.